Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the one again. And so yeah, so welcome, guys, to the what if, or should I say, welcome back to what if Deku was the fusioned form of all the kaijus. Basically, in the last part episode, or like in part one of this one theme, I kind of went rapid fire, basically. Like, basically killed, or so in the last one theme, I went over and basically killed off the kaiju number 9 because like this in part 1, but in this part is that because he did defeat all the other kaijus, and it's kind of messed up how he can become from one person, or actually he went from being so his height is actually similar to Whitebeard's. So yeah, and he's big. He's 15 years old. So then after he got so then he became the basically the soldier, and of course the guy, though I forget his name. Sorry. So the defense force, I forget her name. So this girl, because the kaiju number 9 was trying to didn't meet her, so she didn't get injured. But the only people that was injured was actually Zuko. Or right on his hand. As he's like, ow. Those things are spiky. So she doesn't. So yeah. So he basically is like, all right. Is she always like this? As he looks at her father. Yeah. I trained her through most of her life, basically, because since after. So they talked privately, and he did tell her that, or he did tell Zuko that you're the nicest person on this new batch of recruiters. And you can use any kaiju's thing. And as he basically, my daughter needs way more training and to I know that I will never betray you or anyone, hun, because I see you and the Defense Force as my own family. Nobody, I see your daughter as my his own sister. I know I already have one. But, yeah. But now... But you know what I mean. So yeah. So then... Her father tells him that he doesn't want to see... Yeah, so the kaijus randomly, commonly attack, as he's like, okay. So then, it was the mushroom ones. So then, do you need someone to keep it distracted? These guys are just, like, what do you call it? Deep fries, or small fries. The big fish is right over there. As he could slaughter all of them. And let's say the mushroom kaiju, basically. I forget its name. And I think, let's see. Rum kaiju. Not that one. But this one was like, we need to take out the big fish too. Because he knows everything about kaijus, basically. He is a kaiju. So the girl, though, Captain, basically, was trying to use her laser, but it didn't penetrate its skin. As may be of assistance to you, as he looks at her, as he says, or as she's like, make sure, or as, because she trusts him completely. So then they basically, his entire back lit it up, and as they both like, ready, aim, fire, bam, as the sound, as a laser infused itself, infused right into, and it created the explosion. Quiet! Sorry, let me be quiet. Bang, bang. So yeah, basically, yeah. So, the kaiju got killed. It got obliterated by the combined of a titan, or no, by a kaiju that's, yeah. And they're like, man, that's cool. As he takes corpses, as he looks down, it's time for surgery. As one of the troops assisted him because they all trust him. As he looks inside, he sees the breeding thing, like organs. He crushes that. We don't need that anymore. As he tells them, and or as the captain, the girl captain says, "Should I assist you?" As they asked him, or yeah, can one who has a knife? We all do, but I need one to cut these along the spine part. Okay, sir. As he cuts as he reaches in, pulls out a cure, or not cure, so the core, is it core? Yeah. So the monster core has been like, he pulls it out real slow. As he says, their backsides are more vulnerable than the other ones from the test. The stomachs that were in front. Okay? So then the stomachs ends up being, a stomach. So yeah, so then a time skip. So now it was back to All Might versus All for One thing. As Zuko was pretty mad. Like, he was furious. As he could hear everyone's cries. As he was big. He was ginormous. His body was... Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, I got dizzy. I spun around too fast. So Zuko ends up being, like, of course, All for One did shoot a laser off try to hit All Might, but then Zuko stepped in as a beam went right to his chest, as Zuko was like, because he had a tail. As his anger grew, as wings spread out, like bat wings. Basically, Mad Flame Kaiju's as wings. On, like, imagine if, as he was mad. As he says, "You shall not hurt my friends and favorite idol. No one could ever hurt my friends." That, as All for One is terrified. And, disclaimer, I forgot to mention, All for One, in this what if, is in his prime. So, he's seeing this as a, holy crud. And how did he get into his prime? You guys might be wondering. Well, the kaijus, a certain kaiju decided, "Hey, I'm going to put you back in your prime." And All for One is glad that he has his eyesight back, his hair back, and all that other stuff. So then, but he was no match against Zuko when he's angry like that. His skin becomes scales. His claws comes out. As he was mad. He was furious, like everything else. Everything. He was angry. As you could hear his stomps. As everyone around him was scared out of their minds. As the even kaijus that sometimes randomly, commonly attacks humans were scared out of their minds, and they went right back to bed or went back to the ocean, and they're like, "We're not dealing with that crap. Bye." Yeah, as All Might could see this as he basically Zuko's flame, it basically twists and turns inside Zuko's entire body and gave him the powers of infinity, zero, and the king of the kaijus, higher up, basically, as his powers. And he also gained a quirk called Humanity Savior. Yeah. It's a pretty devastating quirk. It basically, whatever it hits, you know how like Tremor for like Whitebeard, the King Punch for that king that I forget his name, and I think he's the third king of the like country thing. Well, Zuko was on a whole nother level. Like everyone was his humanity savior. Her quirk is more dangerous than anything in the world. It punishes those evil people straight to the underworld. Yeah. And Zuko, and so when Zumi, let's do MHA, shock faces, as everyone was scared out of their minds, as they can't believe, including Dobby and Toga, could sense it's a kaiju type. It's a uniquest one. As All for One says, guess this is the end for me. As Zuko says, this is end for your entire existence, too. Reality, as he charges up his move, because he used his power, it transfers into his fist, and it turned into bloody red, as he says, reality, punch, as he punches All for One, as it obliterated All for One, even in his prime, him and his quirk. And Zuko grabs the search quirk before it left the him, as he basically he walks over to the injured wild pussycat Yellow, and gave her back her quirk. He did purge All for One out of it, so, and he gave it to her. And she says, I will never allow anyone to harm anyone again. As he roars louder than any normal person, like how Godzilla is. As everyone could feel the aura of "don't mess with me or you'll be dead" kind of roar. And it also kept the kaijus away. So it used to be like, when I said common, it was 1 out of 10. Or no, actually, usually it's 1 or 10 attacks per day. So then but Zuko was on the whole nother level of it. And he wasn't, Zuko wasn't like one of his special moves. So when everyone heard that roar, they all know that including Zuko's sister. Yeah, that Zuko from canon version, that face right there, that's what Zumi looked like. And she can't believe that her own brother was born as a kaiju, basically. And when she saw her own brother's transformation, it was over. So, when he calms down, and he could sense his own sister was over in the rubble. Yeah, so he walks over, and he looks over, and when they looked at him, because he was big guy, so he was like literally standing on his head. As everybody, as Zumi was a little bit shocked. As Zumi, or as Bakugo, or no. So basically he says, it's past your bedtime, little sister. As he picks her up, and puts him on his shoulders, because how big he was. He puts the entire, her and her friends that were there on top of his shoulders. That's how big he was. As he walks out. Yeah, as Momo can't even believe that someone knew where they were at. As he steps over the citizens because they thought they were going to get smushed, but like that kaiju doesn't even need to attack us. We're so like he's so scared. They're so scared of him. They thought they needed a defense horse, but the defense horse guy, the general, or I think current general of kaiju number 8, General. No, not that one. General. This one. This guy says in the comms, "Don't be alarmed. He's on our side. He's doing the best because he took out the biggest threat of a all-for-one symbol of evil. We gave him the permission to do it. So, if we don't own, and he's our top guy. He's an expert on kaijus because he is one. And he is stronger than a normal kaiju has. With him, we can win against any fight. We can win any battles without anyone gets in his way, will be eliminated from it. So then he drops off Zumi at her place, drops off Momo and Ochako and the Todoroki and red-haired guy as he goes, because there was dorms for him, so that because he's a defense force guy, he ends up he's a top, he stands right next to the general guy, because he does not need to punish anyone. So, yeah. They put Zuku's bedroom in the training room so that in the training city thing, so that if he does go on a rampage in his sleep, he wouldn't harm anybody. So yeah. Plus there's security cameras, so yeah. As he needs the hot bath thing. So then he shrinks down to same size as the government, or no, him. As he walks in, he sits down, and as most of the people ask him, most people ask Zuko, or that the yeah. I'm trying to find this stupid image of so yeah. So there was two people actually loves him. Or no, three. That is Ochako, Omo, and and her. Forget her name, so yeah. All three of them have a crush on Zuko. Because, first of all, Ochako used to hang out with him at age of 3, but she was seeing him more as a friend. She sees him as her own boyfriend thing. And then number 2, so Momo sees him as her own husband, basically. And then number 3, her, because she knew, her father did tell her that it was him that saved his life and also saved Zumi's. So then he trains with, so let's say the vice captain, him, says, "Hey, Zuko, can I ask you something?" Sure. If you had, or let's go to training after you're done taking the hot bath. Yeah. As it feels good. As he's not even knocked out or like having a hot head thing. Because as he's asking him, how are you like staying in longer than normal humans? As it was a dumb question. So he explains that sometimes kaijus have this heat and cold resistance. No matter how hot the temp is, it always finds a way. Like, imagine throwing a kaiju into the sun. And like Godzilla or what ended up, yeah. So, yeah. And most people are like, man. Because all of them were knocked out, but then, yeah. So Vice Captain trained with him with some fake knives, not real ones. Because he respects him a lot, like basically a lot more. As he says, you're keeping up with me, man. Yeah. So, normally, for a little bit of a big kaijus, you don't need guns or you do need guns to, like, shoot the big ones. But if you cut open, like, their or their armor. You could go into their body and cut their core, like their heart, and kill them from the inside out. I never thought about that. As the guy says, that's a really good tip. Find the core and kill them from the inside without and doing like any explosions. I see. So they asked him, and how can, yeah. So he asks, how can someone like you know all this stuff? That's a really dumb question that you asked. So he asked him, or answered him, because I know all the kaiju strengths and weaknesses. Godzilla needs to charge up his crystals like how I do with my spine. As he turned around, if you take out the spine or the crystals, then it neutralizes it. And all that other stuff. I see. Mothra is, if you chop off her wings, then she wouldn't be able to fly or get away from you. But avoid her attacks. That's why you always, those masks that you guys are wearing, can protect you from the gas thing. I see. How long has this video been? Let's see. Perfect. Now, so basically, so then the day came of heroes from, or actually the UA and Defense Force meets up. And then there was her. She was standing right beside Zuko. Who? Because, yeah, standing right next to the tallest kid that could easily, by stomping on her head. But he's not that kind of person. So then they basically MHA in I can't spell it, so I'm trying to spell My Hero Academia embarrassing moments. So when they had their meeting thing, because then Momo and Ochako decided. So after the meeting, they walked up to Zuko and told him, or asked him if it was okay with him to date both of them. As the ponytails girl says, I'm in too. As he's embarrassed. He has 3 girls that just asked him out to go on a date with them. All 3 of them as he says, sure. As so then so they just walked, or so Zumi says she still calls Zuko her brother, but because of he's been banned, so but Zumi still calls Zuko her brother. So, hey brother, there. Here's a official title thing, as he knows that because he's a Defense Force officer, like he's basically a captain of, yeah. So they all call him like Captain Zuko, basically, of the him. Yeah, he's a vice or super vice captain, basically, of a search team. Searches the strengths and weaknesses kind of kaijus. So then Zuko ends up being like, Zuko says, as Zumi says, my apologies. Hi, him. Yeah, the family, my family wants you back in the family. So, Inko and Sashi watched the entire meeting thing, as they were shocked when they saw their son and became from a noob to being a vice admiral, or no, vice general, or vice captain, or no, vice general thing of search, as they can't believe it. How does so then? Yeah. So Zumi, or so Inko and Sashi came out of their house because they know how big their son is. And Zuko says, like, bows his head. And the to be polite. And as Inko tells Zuko, so did Asashi, says, you're the general of the search department. Yep. So then plus you're also our, and sorry we didn't realize it until we saw your big form, like your kaiju form. So you're accepted back into the family. So he says that, as he says, okay, as, yeah. So then a time skip. And so he has, or so Momo's parents would accept Zuko for gonna be a husband to Momo, and so does Ochako and the general guy, the I forget his name from the one that I showed you. Name. Sorry, my foot is itching, so I'm sorry for that. So, K-A... No, not... So, the general guy, this guy right here, he told Zuko that he can't... Or, no. Wait, hold on. That he can... Or, so, he tells Zuko that he can... Or Zuko can date and get married to his daughter. Yeah. So, because he trusts him more with... So, yeah. So then after they got... So, Zuko got married to got married to 3 wives. Yeah. And so, yeah, and Bakugo and Todoroki, my original plan was for Momo to stick with Todoroki and Ochako gets married to Zuko with the ponytails girl. But Zuko, when I decided, you know what? 3 girls go for Zuko and 2 boys for Zumi. Zumi got married to 2 males things. And she had like 10 kids. Or actually 4 kids. Because, yeah. And all 4 of them have, like, the combined powers or combined quirks of their parents. So then, Momo, Ochako, and the ponytails girl, they had, like, so 15 kids. So 5 for each wife that he has. Yeah, there was 9 boys and 6 girls. Yeah. So, and they all have like similar quirks to their mothers and Zuko. And then they also have their DNAs were also similar to the kaiju's DNA thing. So they can do like what Zuko can, but on a similar scale. Yeah. So now, this is going to be the end of the What If. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. And don't mind the guy holding the gun. It was a dart gun. Yeah, and yeah, so now, alright, men, time to move out. See you later, guys. Peace out, Cub Scouts, and peace.